So good to be with you guys. It's been a lifetime in the making. We got several treats. First of all, we got the Lady Llama with us.
Hi, guys.
Told me to bring her out of the shadows, get her out from behind the background. So, you know, we listen. And we just are so excited to be here with you. My main man, Brody Van.
What's up, everyone?
The genius, brilliant, divine architect to make all this possible from a vision and from the help that I was received and that I got to make all this possible, my gift. And as I went through my gift, I was allowed to share it. And as I was allowed to share it, it organically created itself. This is a movement of the Almighty. Oh man, can you see that? Can you feel that? So we're already in it. And so we're already in it.
Before we start anything, I think a great way to connect everyone and get everyone here, something we like to do with everyone in our lives, in our team meetings, basically before we do any transmission, we want to make sure everyone's together with us. So divine spark to divine spark.
And divine spark to divine spark. So now, oh man, look at that. I'm like a chicken leg over here. I can feel it. You know, the presence is here. The Creator is with us. This is a new day. So what we want you to do, just first thing, is just that heavy backpack that you've been carrying through your whole life, set it outside the door. All that old stuff, that baggage, just put everything at zero, throw that out and just be at zero with us. And then we're going to build this firm foundation that you already know, that you will resonate with, and then we will all get there together, hand in hand, to the promised land, and we're going to be happy along the way, no matter how long it takes. It may take 11 days, like it should, or it could take 40 years, and that's okay too. So welcome.
Welcome, everyone. So this is the Serenity Project 7-step project to ultimate freedom and bliss. And today, and for this entire month, what we'll be diving into is the first step. And what we've labeled that step, and we've given it a title because we want everyone to together focus on this specific area, this specific time for some people. It's almost like a specific energy within everyone's process. And so it's
everybody goes through it.
Uniquely, everyone goes through it. It's the first thing that everyone goes through. And it's the suffering and the reality.
The here and now.
Exactly. And we'll get into the details and full details of what this all is. But we wanted to really bring the present moment in. We like everyone to gather their thoughts, be present with us here. If you're watching live or if you're watching the recording, it's very important to do this with us. So we're going to open up with some heart breathing and then get into a mini meditation, what we like to call almost a biological defrag. So everyone together right now, let's take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, imagine the breath flowing from your mind to your heart like a river. And exhale out. And again, breathing in, flowing through your body with love and release. Now keep that consistent and conscious pace. In and out. As Jeremy walks you through this mini meditation.
Feels good. And that's the only way you should ever feel. And that's where we're all headed. So what we are going to do is remove all the the bad, the negative, the contrasts, the negative polarity. And all that will remain is the good, the love, the abundance, and perfection. And so, like a biological computer, we are going to defrag. And so, as the thoughts come, feel it. Decide, is it good? Is it bad? Do I not like it? Do I like it? And let it keep continuing on, and then don't let it back in. You let it be. So breathe in, feel it, let it be, let it go, and release and shut the door. Breathe in, it comes, feel it, let it go, don't let it back in, release. And one more time, all of it, everything that's come, just let it all come. Even if it's the first time, it's okay, it's safe now. You're with those who can help and who can help in all the ways to guide in the path of least resistance. So one more time, breathe in, all of it. Let it come. Let it go. Let it be. Release. Don't let it back in. So we are cleared. Oh, and then just and let's just stay in this high vibration, this high flying disc, this momentum, this firm foundation.
Whew. So good, Bill. I feel so good. I love doing that. We really hope you feel light and resonant and very clear now. And even if you don't, that's okay.
It's going to. We're going to build it.
So we want to thank everyone that's joining us here in this live, in the future recordings. It's reaching you at the exact moment it needs to reach you, and we know that's perfect.
This is quantum.
It's quantum. It's spiritual. It's source. It's God. And there's no agenda with what we're about to present with everyone today. And this is a team workshop. This is all tools and resources that you're going to be able to add to your process. And this isn't something that we're saying that exclusively this is what you have to do. We're not saying that with an authority figure, you know, that if you don't do this, you're not going to reach the levels that you're searching.
You're going to hell. None of that.
Like that.
None of that.
That's not what this is about. And that's not what this will ever be about with the Serenity Project. But, and that is a but, we have prepared some steps that have helped us with our freedom.
Yes.
And we want to share those steps with you knowing and with you having that open mindset, with you knowing that you are the power and you are the pedestal. And these are flowing through you, and you are getting to decide, is that for me or is that not for me? With honesty and being caring and loving with that. And through that, you design your own process. So I want you guys to be very open with our 7-step process, which is almost like a set of training wheels for your very own process, so that you can go out and you can run off and do the things that you want in your full expression. And it'll be beautiful and it'll be unique and it'll be special. So yes, this is a structure that we're going to be sharing with you over the next meetings, over the next 7 months, over the next 7 steps. However you move through this process, these will be very, very almost landmark locations, grounding locations where you can come back to if you feel for at any moment you didn't quite figure out or solve, or if there's something missing still. These will be your homes to come back to get that realignment, just reignite all those things, those original feelings that you felt when you first seen the Serenity Project, when you first went through the boot camp, when you first experienced this workshop. So very excited.
Yes. This is the alignment of spirit, mind, body, and the caveat, business as well, the spiritualpreneur. And so just upfront warning that we will go where is necessary to get to the path of least resistance. So if we do use religion as examples, bear with us, keep an open mind, use it as a perspective, like a t-shirt. Just try it on and see how it feels. We're not telling you to believe or change or anything. We already see unconditionally who you are, and we already love you. You're already there, but we have to show you, like a butterfly, you can't see your wings. We can. So that's all we can do. We bring the presence and we show you your beautiful wings. So we will use science. So be open-minded and open-hearted. So we will use philosophies and teachers and gurus and stuff that you've already seen. Yes, we went there. We've been there. We've done that. And then we have brought it into a nice buffet that you can partake as you so choose, fulfillingly, to equal unconditional love, non-attachment, which equals the presence and bliss. That is the core of everything. So
It's such
just
a beautiful way to introduce everything that we have prepared. So
just be open-minded, try it on, and then also know we may say some things on purpose for a reason, even if it may not be right, okay? And bear with me right for a second. We're already doing it. What if we go into a place that is wrong, and then we can be like, look at that contrast. See how that feels? Now, here is the right contrast. See how that feels? Boom. We know both good and evil, and then those have an attraction and are repelling. And then right where they almost meet, there's that energetic path of perfection. And that's where we roll. And that's where you roll from now on, forever, period. Everybody who's in on that, say yes.
yes, you guys can shoot some messages in the comments. We do want this to be an interactive process.
Yes.
And stuff. We'll have everyone muted just for everyone's listening preference in the future and stuff. But what we'll have at the end, because obviously there'll be some questions. Maybe you don't agree with a certain thing that's being said. 100%, that's fine. We're happy for that, because what will happen is
that's the new leading edge.
It's a new leading edge, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a question period where if something triggered you, if something's not in alignment, if something doesn't feel right, write that down, hold that thought type of thing. And then what we're going to do, we're going to open it up at the end, and we're going to have this divine type of sharing and a divine appointment where if there's any little missing things that you feel or we feel or anything that's still left to be, we're going to make sure that's all completely cleansed before we leave today. So
that's it.
At this
we
moment
do it
now,
right and only right.
Yeah.
Period. Because if you don't do it right, then go on. You know, this is the difference. We're going to change and take everything that's already here, and we're going to do it in addition to, because it's better. So that's how we keep the blood off everyone's hands. It's not by violence. It's by love and education and love. We're not here to teach you. We're here to love you. Love will teach you.
So at this moment, everyone, I'm going to share my screen and present this couple slides that I have with you. So this is a little bit redundant for the people that are already here, but this is the Serenity Project to ultimate freedom and bliss. And I'm just moving my thing over here so I can see the words. And so it's going to be going through the 7 steps over the next 7 months. And for anyone that's in any other types of programs, you might learn this process quicker. But for the people that are in the monthly program, you'll be able to consciously and very precisely and very intuitively sit through each specific step for an entire month. And we all know with these specific steps, we've only maybe lasted, days on sometimes only hours and stuff like that, where we actually presently spent time and looked at, okay, what was I going through? What happened? What was the key things that moved me through? And me personally, why I love sharing and letting everyone go through this is because this is one of the best ways I know to build your authentic story and really key on those mementos that were the transformational moments for you and stuff, because they're actually probably most definitely tied, in my personal opinion, to those energy centers and you moving up through those and finally having the release from them. That was the pivotal moment in your life, right? So moving on.
That's that upstream, baby. You
So
get tired
month one,
going upstream.
the first month exactly, upstream. And this is the step one, month one. And we're going to be going into the suffering and the reality. It's where we basically catch a lot of people on their journey, even through knowing of spirituality, knowing of different teachers doing this consistently. Some people are still left on step one. And, having the ability to have all this available knowledge and then just start applying it with these types of steps really gives you a head start. But without connecting these in a proper manner, you can start to feel like there's missing chunks, missing things around. So today's journey, we've got a couple different topics that we'll go in. Hopefully we'll be able to touch in on most of them. Autopilot and reactor mode, upstream story, upstream solution oriented. You can read these here on the screen. What we're going to do, I think at this moment now, is we're going to go through each of these things now and jump into them. And I can come back to it, Jeremy, and keep coming back to this slide here where I can keep referencing you and giving you the next thing. But I think first we should dive into the autopilot and reactor mode and trying to determine, what am I? Am I in that mode? Am I out of it? Am I just a little bit of a residual still left in me? What's happening when we say that? So.
Yeah, so let's paint that picture, the reality of it all. What it is you're sleeping and you're in this autopilot, and that's the reactor mode. That's the lack mode and the fear, and you're just having to deal with everything. And you're just in that seat like, oh my gosh, you don't know, you have no power, no control, and you just have all this garbage, garbitch, just coming all at you, and you're, what do I even do with all this? This is terrible. Okay, so then when you've had your fill and you've learned the lessons, then you're like, I don't have to sit here and just take this. I can actually turn the button off. I can actually get in that seat and start driving. See, the thing is people don't know how to drive, so they are afraid to make that paradigm shift. Afraid. You either have fear or you have faith. You have love or the lack of. That's all. And the way we suffer, there's only really two ways of suffering. It's either mentally or physically. And so that's what we're going to touch on. That's when we say, are you in autopilot or reactor mode? This, or in lack mode, fear mode, this is what we're talking about. Just banging around. Okay. So the paradigm shift is when you do have the guidance, the insight, the connection, the understanding, and the application to be able to go where you want to. Another thing that keeps people from wanting to is you got the old momentum that you can go wherever you want, as far as you want, but you do have to come back. And that tends to stop people some. But with their trailblazer and a new form of transportation, we can get there super quick, back at zero. And so then we can go and navigate better as a co-creator, as power and love and the ability to go where we want to go with who we want to go with. That is the difference of an awakened life and a life still in suffering and reality. It's like an egg, and we have to do all these hard things and we're trying to get out of this egg. And so once we can just bust through and we get strong enough because of the ups and downs, then we get out and we're like, boom. And then we can go and navigate. But how awesome would it be if someone was already there waiting for us to bust out of that egg, was warming us and keeping us safe, taking care of us, and then we can walk hand in hand and go safely wherever. That's the difference between clarity and blindness.
And so when someone's in blindness like that, someone's in the suffering and they're in the reactor mode, Lots of times this has been shared with other teachers, but it can feel like you're going upstream on a river, you know? And what does that mean? You know, like you're going upstream on a river. Well, you're doing exactly that. Normally the flow of river goes downstream. And by paddling with the downstream, that would make a lot more sense, right? But sometimes when we're in suffering, lack, reactor mode, when we're a blame, when we're in a victim mode like that, and not just
and we
for
gotta
like
do it
the
ourselves.
things that we've solved in our life. We can be blame and reactor and victim mode in every different relationship in our life, right? So we're not just sort of looking at the ones you've solved. We're looking at the whole encompassing thing at this moment, right? And what we tend to do is we're sitting there rowing as fast as we can upstream and wondering why it's so goddamn hard. Like you're like, frick, man, this is terrible. Like I'm trying my hardest, and yet still things feel like as soon as I let off the thing, then I'm just like, you know, or as soon as I'm like, you have this mindset where you think you need to keep paddling all the time to keep up this momentum, right? But really all you're doing is maintaining this very not very like the vibration that you're maintaining is probably not in your best interest, but that's what's working. You think it's working for the moment, but what ends up tending to happen is once you realize this process and once you start practicing the things that we'll practice with you, is you learn the process of letting go. You learn that process of being able to just let that stream flow with you now and work with it, not work against it, right? And maybe you wanted to share a little bit for at least the suffering and the reality aspect of what that feels like for people, I guess, when they're in that upstream mode.
Right. Well, with me personally, where this came from is that's exactly what I was doing. This is why this is step one, is because this is what happened. This is where I was. I was doing everything right all the time about everything, you know, not to brag or ego, but it is bragging and ego. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what
you know?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I had the house paid off in my 20s. You know, I had the trophy wife. You know, I had the career. I had the dopest cars, sound system, turbos, 20-inch rims. You know, I got all that, you know, and I was miserable. It was like I had a Ferrari in the garage, but it had no engine. I had no insides. I was just always just depressed AF. Anxiety. I don't even want to wake up. I'd be like, God, I can't wait till Jesus comes back, you know, and like burn it to the ground. And I'm going to the rope store, you know, like I'm not living this life anymore. I've done it. I've done the American dream, and it's a freaking nightmare. And I've done all the philosophies. I've done all the religions. You know, the meat and potatoes. Where? What am I missing? What the shit? You know, this is that.
Yeah, and even for myself, I had a couple moments like that where back when I was in the oil and gas industry, I have a full degree in environmental sciences, had a full career, flourishing career, I guess someone would call, very early in my 20s. I was the youngest person by like 15 years out on the job site at any moment. And it was like, it was humbling, but it was also like, it felt like I wasn't meant to be there. And I took someone else's path to get there. I was following in my sister's path because that was easy. The work was good, or the work was easy to me, I felt at the time. The money was excellent. And so I kept going that, oh, I got to just find a good job. That'll get me a good house. That'll get me a good family. Like the American dream or the Canadian dream or whatever it is, the dream that gets placed into our adolescent mind at a young age. And then so I was attaining that. And the more and more I attained that, the freaking less and less I started to desire life. Which is just really started to like make me like think like that doesn't make sense. Like I think even after once now I get like the next step, is that going to feel even more unsettling? And it wasn't the fact that getting all those things would have made me less happy. It was the mode I was running in at the moment because I was just like, it was never enough. Every single time I need to have the fanciest clothes. I need to have the fanciest watch, the best shoes. My shoes had to be white. Everything, go to the bar. Everyone, it's this whole like coming down to the watering hole to kind of like strut your stuff kind of thing. So your ego can be like, like, yeah, you know, and just like, oh, I got this new raise. I got this new raise. And it's just this pecking order of just like, oh, and it's very, very, it's not healthy. In my life, it wasn't healthy for me. It led me to drugs and alcohol and just trying to like dissolve that feeling of why I don't like life so much, right? Yeah. And thank the universe, thank God, thank the creator, thank whoever your deity is. But I was fired from that job after just like being so unhappy in it, because I would come to work, I wouldn't be a nice person around people, I wouldn't show up on time, I didn't show up, I wasn't showing up for life, right? Wasn't waking up inspired. And so that my life just started to portray that, got released from that, and then started again new, started a brand new thing, started a digital business online. That was going extremely well off the beginning. My mindset, my health, like I was doing really well. And then I started focusing on other people's path again, started focusing on other people's journey, what they were doing, all being so constantly concerned about what their results were and how they did it and all these certain types of things, and started again to live someone else's other path. And what do you think it started to feel like again? Started to feel very, very unhappy, very undesirable. And then that's when Jeremy came into my life and started sharing with a lot of the information that I already had known, but I really wasn't practicing it because I didn't have really this training wheels. I didn't have this step to get my momentum running enough in the right direction to contain it. I was getting these spurts. There's these spurts, and then not knowing really where it came from, and then getting really anxious when it started to dissolve, and then being freaking in super fear once it was gone. Like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm like, go ahead, Amber. I think you got something there.
Those spurts that you were getting was your higher self trying to, or a lot of people call them muses, trying to give you that motivation, that idea. And, that's that random thought that pops in your head. That's your higher self. That's your subconscious going, hey, what about this?
Right. And like at certain times in the beginning, you can be like, oh, that was the enlightenment. That's it. Okay, I'm enlightened now, and just like you, they're just these like they're these little bit, they're hopes, and they're just like little secrets. And honestly, they're little gifts to show you that you're on the right path. But it's not the entire gift yet. You're working towards that all the time, and it just gets better and better and better each day, right? The gift gets bigger and bigger each day.
You're receiving it.
Yes, exactly.
You're pinching it off because you're in suffering. You get nothing.
You get more suffering.
You get more. So Lady Llama, my sweet baby, tell them about your upstream a little bit.
My upstream?
Yeah,
My upstream since I was a kid, I was always so stressed out. I internalized everything. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody about anything, so I just kept it to myself. And then I came down with stomach cancer because I was so stressed out. And the doctors couldn't figure out why I was so stressed out. They were like, you're so stressed out. Why are you so stressed out? You're too young, you're too this, you're too that to be so stressed out. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. And I came down with stomach cancer, and that was basically, just my body trying to tell me, like, hey, stop doing this. Hey, stop doing this. You're killing yourself. And I got over it and stuff. And thank God it didn't come back. But, I've still had to deal with that upstream up until, very recently, up until I met Jeremy, and there was this decision in my head right before I met him. It was probably about 2 weeks before I met him. And I was like, screw this up the A and everywhere. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm making my own stomping grounds. I'm making my own path. I'm going to do whatever the frick I want to do. I don't care about anybody else's opinions. Like, I'm just gonna find my own life.
You had your fill.
And that's when Jeremy came in, and I was like, thank you, God, thank you. And it's just been absolute bliss since. And it's excellent having a llama teacher for a significant other, so I kind of get spoiled by him.
Me too. I definitely spend a lot of time with him too, and I think that's the goal with all of this. It's like once you spend time around people that are sharing the same ideas and the same visions, and they're sharing that same vibration, it becomes very easy to attach onto that, even if you're not like full in onto it on the beginning. And so that's why we know this is so powerful too, with us sharing. That's why we post so much. That's why we like to be there, because it's like we want to make sure that this is imprinting so that people can finally feel the feeling that we feel every day. So it's magical, it's powerful, it's divine, it's meant for you, and you can have it.
That's why you're here.
It's nothing that we're giving to you. It's something that you're unlocking with inside yourself. But you need the presence, you need the awareness, you need other people's evidence to show that it's possible.
Yeah. So, even if it's just a piggybacking, it's still okay. Vibrations are so strong that just being in the presence will help you have that boost and that awareness and that self-care and that self-love that you can go a little bit on your own, and then you start going down and you're like, and then you come back and get boosted, and you try and you exercise and you get down and you come back and get boosted. Those are your spiritual push-ups. I didn't have any of that. I crashed and motherfucking burned, and I stayed there on fire while everybody laughed at me. You know, and so I went to the bottom of every barrel so that I could help those out of their barrels as well. You know, that's why is I went through this, and suffering is my guru, was my guru, and I have now became the teacher because I surpassed my teacher. Suffering is only temporary. You have a two-sided coin, suffering, and then love, bliss. And then you have to have that paradigm shift in order to care about life. You have to have that fill. You have to get the sex, the drugs, the rock and roll, the rap, whatever, the music. You know, you go and bang it out, literally. You got smoke it, drink it, F it, blah, 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 blah. Get it out. That is your fill. This is why we teach unconditional love, is because of the prodigal son. We know you're going to. We love you anyways. We know you're going to get your inheritance and go and squander it and do it your way. Go upstream. We know. And like that, Father, we come out every single day to the hill knowing you're going to come back. So you're going to have that pig slop, and you're going to be just, oh, this is terrible. That's the point. That's the fill. And you say, I would rather be a freaking slave in my Father's house than be in this pig slop. This blows. So then you go home, and he's already on the hill waiting for you. You are loved. You are valuable. You have all this is experience. It's not good. It's not bad. It's contrast. It's experience. It's growth. It's that banging around in the egg so that we can get out hand in hand with the Creator and dance along together in unity, harmony, and bliss throughout the whole entire cosmos. This is why when he said, let there be light, we were planted. This is our spiritual evolution. We went from caveman and all this garbage and violence and trash experience so that we could turn and grow and morph, transform and transcend to rise above into a butterfly, to the divine, from caveman to deity, to be in the likeness of the unlabelable. That is who we are, why we're here, what we're doing is to come down here in this 3D, to de-evolve, to learn these lessons. Because when we were up there, we were like, I wonder what it would be like to do that. Well, instead of wondering, we actually manifested it and created it to come here and to do this. This is our spiritual college, this 3D rock, this heaviness, this density, this bleh. What is it teaching? To be happy anyways. To learn your powers and your unconditional love so that you won't be the problem anymore, that you will be the solution. That's what your suffering has been for. That's where your betrayal, your abandonment, your loss has came from. It has played a role for you to learn these lessons. And then in the end, we all go out as the good guys and the bad guys, and we all bow, we all hug and come together, and we all get the experience from everything. We are here to experience everything in every way, period. So let's stop with all the religiosity and the churchianity, the this and the that. Those were necessary for the training wheels, and you need those. But once you can't be on a BMX bike going off giant ramps doing backflips with training wheels on. That will inhibit you. You know? So this is how we give you the proper ways, the path of least resistance, so that you can not have so much suffering and blood on your hands and just banging it out in the dark. We're here to shine the light. Back to you, Brody.
Woo! So yeah, like I think everyone probably does that make sense as far as like what upstream, what that feels like, what that can almost feels like. It's like a never-ending loop sometimes for some people. As I hear people say that lots and stuff. Can't quite figure it out. I don't know what I keep doing wrong. That's upstream. That's a lot of upstream and stuff like that.
What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah. I've tried everything.
That's what you're doing wrong.
I've tried everything. Yeah. Have you tried doing nothing? No. What's that? Oh, okay. We'll try nothing. But
step forward, 2 steps back, and you're like, there are no steps forward. It's all backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, and I guess to share a little bit of like why would it be designed that way? Well, why would you create a life where inherently it would let you go down the path that didn't feel that good for you? That wouldn't be a very beautiful divine design, right? But if you had a design where if naturally you started going down the wrong path consciously on this time, it shows you, your inner being shows you through emotions, through feelings, through experiences, that it's not exactly the most perfect thing that you came down here to create. But there is something out there that's very, very close, that if you shift, that's attainable as well. And it's your choice. It's your free will at that moment to continue going down that path or to choose and go up this path. And it's not going to force you or do anything besides the fact of making it feel just not as complete as it could be. And so we went upstream, and hopefully you guys have maybe a memento or experience. I really want you guys to maybe write a note right now of a memento or an experience that ties into something similar to that feeling, because that's powerful to be able to have that, to be able to, because what you do and you be able to share with someone that with like share that type of story with someone is you can come down to their level, so to speak, and you can really resonate and you can really relate with them, because going through this process, it can get you really, really on a high vibrating top of the mountain. And if you forget what it felt like to be down here, these people down here aren't going to want to listen to you anymore, right? Because there's no relatability. The gap is too far, right, Amber? Yeah.
I still cry my eyes out whenever I say my story. I'm just like freaking tears because it hurts.
Yes.
It hurts to talk about it, but it feels good to get it out at the same time.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, it's the closure. And it's healing for everyone else that hears as well when you do that. And so I appreciate everyone and anyone that shares their story in the future. It's scary. It's a lot, and it sometimes comes out weird, and it's hard to say because it's deep and it's not something that you've been focusing on. But the more you put a little bit of presence and awareness into it, it becomes more healed. It's kind of like a kid, these relationships with these different things, these different energies and stuff. If you ignore a kid for a long time, like, it's going to get loud. It's going to get angry. It's going to start freaking beating at your chest, at your legs. It's going to start scratching. Like, it'll just progressively get worse and worse until you have Dad. And then, so like, I don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews. So I see this all the time and stuff like that. But that's essentially what these different parts of ourselves, our bodies, when we keep unnoticed, or if we don't give them the attention or the awareness, they freaking flare up and they'll get known. They'll be like, you don't hear me? Hear me now, like, type of deal like that, right? And that can form in the version of unsettled, like, on a low vibration. That can form into, physical pain. That can form into dis-ease and illness. And like, that's the manifestation of not focusing on the full, complete part of your entire self, right? And what a blessing, like you said in your story, Amber, it's just this amazing example of how, like, that wasn't a curse at that moment now, right? And it took you time and patience to understand it, but you truly then got the healing from realizing that, oh my gosh, that was like that card that said, hey, we're running out of time. Like, let's look into this together and let's do something about it. We're not, and then so it was that beautiful, almost like invitation for you to now to become really, really present and really aware with it once and for all now, and to move on.
Do you care about how you feel now? That's the question. Do you care about how you feel now? Mm-hmm. How about now? Mm-hmm. Divorce? How about now? Do you care? How about now? Yes. Sickness, dis-ease. That is how you get out of the first step, is you begin to care about how you feel.
Yeah.
So while they're writing their upstream moments with us, how about we do that one quick 5-step? How? This is why you're here. This is what you have invested in your heart and soul for.
And yeah, with the 5 steps, everyone take some notes with the 5 steps. It won't be the last time you're hearing this, but this is a very integral process for you to deal with daily stuff. So yes,
this is integral. People have spent thousands of dollars just for this information all across the world. And it's just one part of this foundation that you will now know, and all your brain waves will go, instead of fear and crashing and burning, it will go straight to the new. And this is how. So step 1, write this down. Step 1, it is contrast. Something comes. Something you don't want, something you do want. See the lesson in both. This doesn't serve me. I don't want this. Okay, let that go. Don't give an ounce of energy to that. And then you do see what you do want, because every problem has a built-in solution. That is the new leading edge. This isn't working, so what will? Boom! Miracle. This is the new perspective on suffering, why it can be dealt with. Okay, so something comes, you see what you don't like, you see what you do like, give it to source. Give it to God. Give it to the universe. Do that attracting and that repelling. This is the law of attraction. This is law. It is real. It is universal. Okay? And so God, the unlabelable, the all-encompassing energy of benevolence, the creator, the ultimate one, the all, these are all what this word is. The concepts are in this word. This is what we mean. These are the Lama terms that we will go over from time to time so that we're all on the same page. So step 2, give it to source. I can't stand this. This is what I want. Okay, step 2, everything is taken care of. Hear me. Everything is taken care of. Step 3, receiving mode. Stop being like, oh, I don't deserve it. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad girl. Or I'm sad. I'm too sad. I'm undeserving and I'm unworthy. Or mad. F this, I'll burn it to the ground. You know, that was me. I was a rageaholic. Okay. And so, you know, our tests turn into our testimony. Being a victim, we will become victorious. That's what this is all about. So step 3 is getting into worthiness and receiving. It's like a cork. If you just leave it alone, it's going to float. But if you're hating on it, pushing it down and doing all this, it's not going to be floating. So how do you get back in alignment? You just stop. You're always in alignment unless you're not. So this is how we get you out of that knot more often. So step 3, receive it, please. That's all we can do for you is give you ways of raising your vibes and raising your self-love so that you can actually take it. Just take it. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I want to make the water worth drinking again. Okay? Step 4, master receiving. Just be better at receiving it. Ask for it. Ask it, and it is done. So have enough faith to receive it. Okay? Step 5, contrast again. Something comes up, and then you start all over again. So now you can never unforget this and unlearn this. Use this as in your tool belt, your foundation from now on forever about everything. My car broke down. What do? Step 1. I don't like it when my car breaks down, but I'm not going to give any energy. There's got to be a reason. Everything is always working out for me. Okay, what do I want? I need a better car. I need the money to fix it smoothly. I need abundance so that I can have whatever I need, whenever I need it, however I need it. Step 2, Lord, God, universe, please and thank you. Not lacking, not in lacking. I need money. All that's doing is attracting reasons why you need more money. You're doing it. I know it hurts. People are like, oh, I'm not attracting rape or murder or anything like that. But autopilot says you are. Because if you're not saying no, are you being raped? I know this is brutal. This is what we said. Open up a little bit. If you're being raped and you're not saying no, and I'm talking about life, metaphorically, is it rape? So if you don't like it anymore, then you stop, you make that stand, and you say no, and you feel it, you let it go, you don't receive it anymore. And you take that on and off switch in your mind and you turn that to off. And your spirit, your mind, and your body and the universe will align with you, or you will be aligning with the flow. This is how you can just say, I'm out, I'm done. You throw your oars out of the boat. I'm not going upstream anymore. And then all of a sudden, your boat starts turning with the current. And you're no longer going against the grain. You're going with the grain. This feels good. This is surrender. I'm freaking done. I'm out. You either do something or I'm going to. And that was what I said.
And right when you're at like about half mast, I say about half mast, 90 degrees, you're still in between old momentum and new momentum.
Yes.
And so what happens? Old momentum makes its last stand. And so boom, there's the car accident. There's the whatever. Yeah. There's this amazingly a huge life event where you need to finally use your steps. You need to use your power to its fullest degree. Exactly. Yeah, you can do it for the angry kid or the angry child or you forgetting your lunch or something like that. You can be like, no, thank you. This was meant for a reason. Boom. When that happens, that will be your ultimate test. And you'll be able to now decide.
Look at that. There's God. Look at that chicken leg.
And the only phrase that you need to have in that moment is, can you be happy anyways? Can I be happy anyways? Because that's like, if you don't, boom. Because it's that standing, it's that turning point right there where you make a stand and you're going to tune in back into the old vibration and it's going to autopilot and react and freak out. Or do you know what's happening and you are understanding and you're aware of it and you're like, nah, not this time. And you go on.
Not today. That's it. And this is how we do that, by stopping that momentum. Yeah. By meditating or by going back to sleep and then just starting all over again. Then once you get up and you're still in that, then you need to meditate. We'll give you these. How do I wake up happy? We'll get you there. This is how you are getting it now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to turn this into a lifestyle. They won't be steps for long. And then you'll get up on fire. You'll stay on fire. You'll light everybody else's fire. You'll go to bed on fire. And when everybody's on fire, there will be no more darkness. That is what the Serenity Project is all about. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Woo. And it makes sense. Jeremy shares like this kind of this analogy where it's like, you know, he's this very high vibrating, almost he's on fire, lit with presence, lit with the peace of God. Every way you want to explain it, he's there and he maintains it. And by being around him, I always used to say, oh, I walk away and I feel him. I don't know what it is, but every time I talk with that dude, I feel amazing. So that was what like my like conscious brain kept saying, like, don't turn away at an appointment with Jeremy because I know it's going to just, I don't know what it is, but I know each time coming there, it gets me closer to it. So then I'll just keep going there. That's easy. I don't have to really figure it out all in one day, build Rome all in 1 week or whatever it is like that. But what I found is it's like a torch. Yeah. And I bring up my torch and I listen in. And even if it's like not even consciously coming in, it's subconsciously programming. It's doing the things I'm learning from him just by watching, right? And my torch, I light it. You know, and you don't even have to physically do that. It's getting lit by being around in this presence. And then you walk into the next conversation after this and someone gets a little bit of that rubs off and it gets a little bit. And it's just like this amazingly beautiful ripple effect, similar to a smile and how contagious that can be. That's how amazingly beautiful this divine can work through it and how quickly it can work through. But we need to quit stopping the flow of it. And we need to just let that presence in, let that allowing in. And that we understand that can be hard off the beginning because there's a lot of old momentum, but it doesn't have to be hard anymore. We're going to
Well,
show
here's how we can make it easier.
We're going to show you how to make it easy. And it just comes from having a few little tools in your tool belt to whip out when those energies come around. When that vibration comes around, you have something now. You have that certainty. You have that, you know, that awareness. You have the ability now to not be like, oh, frick, I don't know what happens when this happens now. You'll have that now. You'll apply it and it will work for you. So I'm going to jump back over to the shared screen and we're going to jump over a few slides. And then if you just want to spitball and run on the slides as they come up, Jeremy, and explain that in your way. And then if I have something to add, I'll add it along too. So
yeah. So we were talking about this being quantum, and this is deeper than any teaching. This is a new leading edge form of education. This will be in schools, in churches, and everywhere. What this is not only conscious here. This is subconscious. What we're doing is that by this method that I was divinely given and sharing it, there is a process, and what it does is you have these bouncers outside of your conscious, and they don't believe anything. They ain't letting nothing by. This guy looks weird, talks weird, and he's awfully loud. You know, like just blah. And so there, all these things, they're just like, nope, 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 not today, not today. So that is why things don't usually work. So what we do is we go in and we appease and we sit with your bouncers because we have built that rapport and that love, and we just have that thing. They're like, man, I kind of like this dude. And so then we can plant the seeds on firm foundation and good soil. So not only are we teaching, but we're also loving. That's what I was telling you. We're not teaching, we're loving. Love will teach. That's the both. Now, how this whole system works is you saw a few of the steps. We're going to go through all 7, but the epiphany that I had when all this really bloomed was when I had the epiphany that they all correlate to the 7 chakras. This is the leading edge. This is the culmination of everything. And this is what we're getting ready to go into. So I just wanted to be like, talk to your bouncers for a second. Like, hey, bro, just, you're good. We're not here to cause any trouble. We're not going to stir up any trash. We're only here to give you a good paint job. We're just here for fun. And so they're taken care of. So now we can really, really get in it. And it will stay, it will matter. We're going to give you application to where you're not just hearing stuff. I've already heard all this, I know. Well, we're going to put it together for you. We're going to reconnect you, and this is how. So yes, Brody, let's get it.
So yeah, this is the vibrational scale, and really the only thing I wanted to touch down on this is it's really simple. On the left side, it shows getting what you want and getting what you don't want. And so use this. You have an emotional guidance scale built in. Everyone has emotions in them. And if you tune into them, they're actually these like guidance systems. They're actually like a compass that'll tell you exactly where you're on the scale, so that you can use some of these, like, you know, these definitions and these labels and words and stuff to try and get a perspective of where you might be at the moment. And then look for something above that to search for, because you don't go from, let's go on the bottom of the scale around insecurity and guilt and unworthiness and fear and grief, to complete and absolute joy and bliss. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't work. It never works like that, you know? And for someone on that level, they're like, go fly a kite. That's not happening for me. They feel like that, right? But maybe one thing that you can search for, and do this with love and presence and knowing that you're going to move through these scales fairly quickly. But maybe you need to get angry about the situation for a second, being like, I've been in it. I've been in it and doing this for way too effing long type of deal, right? And so that's a vibration above it. And that already it feels deep, but it feels lighter than the one before, the guilt and the anger and the fear. And then so you might move into, you know, a little bit about like, okay, you know, this was, you know, overwhelming, disappointment, you know, and then you step into maybe boredom. Okay, now like I'm tired of all that, you know, I'm bored of it. I'm bored of doing all of that, to tell you the truth. Yeah. And you know what, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being that I did that. And you know what, I'm understanding now that that's what actually made my test. It created my character. It made me create all these amazing stories that I get to share my journey through now. And, you know, I'm hopeful that it's going to, you know, and so you can start to see, you know, now I'm optimistic that I can actually share this story or share this business, share a better relationship with my kin and my significant other. And that's positive. That's you're in positivity right now. And that's only going to bring enthusiasm. That's only going to create more passion in your work and passion in your relationships. And that's what brings the joy. When you have this divine, when you know and you can understand that you can move your vibration. And then the only other thing to realize is this is every day reborn. Every day is a brand new dawn. Every day is a new day. And you might have to check yourself before you wreck yourself on this scale once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Until you maintain the joy on a consistent level, then you're almost impenetrable to lower. You eventually become impenetrable. You need to spend some time and be patient with this process before you're just like, well, why am I not penetrable yet, Jeremy? Like, right away you just send off a vibration of lack and not knowing, so that's why, right? But we'll work with you and it's okay. We're never going to judge you for when you're at those moments, but let's move again. So this isn't just a linear scale that we're moving up through. And this is where Jeremy's expertise is probably going to come into more of a play, but I understand it on a feeling level, not as much as an auditory being able to lecture it, but it's a spiral that we're moving up towards. Spiral downwards and a spiral upwards. And it's very consistent with quantum physics. It's very consistent with our DNA and how that works. It's very like, it gets very synchronistic, I guess. I don't know if that's a word, but everything starts to tie in and you're like, ooh, this is interesting. This is really cool. But let us know a little bit more about that spiral scale.
Oh, man, that's perfect. So here's what I want everybody to do. Perfect segue. Everybody, write down your answer to this question. Yes or no? Is the universe working for you, or is the universe working against you? Which is it? Me? It's working for me in all ways. I don't care if it was from my divorce to homelessness to getting, being out pumping gas, and then my crazy stepdad comes and bashes my head into the gas pump. I don't know why. That was, what it is you can either have it going up, everything's working out, or down, F me, everything is terrible, nothing's ever going to work, everything is garbage. Which is it for you? There is only one answer. There is the wrong way, and then the other way, and then you have to see both so that you can know the right way.
Exactly. And it gets very simple because you're tuning into what you do want and not accepting or releasing or allowing, forgiving what you don't want. And just saying, you know what? You served me for some reason along some path, and I understand that, but not anymore. Like, it's just done. And it's just very almost like the same way you'd say goodbye to a long friend, a friend that you knew you weren't going to be able to spend any more time with anymore, moving overseas or something like that. It's just this kindly dismissal where they're still there, but it's not going to be something you're going to be spending any time with them anymore longer now. And it's just this nice kindly dismissal, send them off, goodbye, it's amazing, and then good riddance type of thing like that, and maybe a friend wasn't the best analogy. A distant stranger that was into your life for a moment, caused a lot of havoc, but now they have to go. And then so you're like, yes, thank you, but this is done now. So, and like you said, these 7 steps, and this isn't something we planned. This is something that the divine finally just opened up to us. These 7 steps correlate exactly with the 7 chakras and the energy highways in your body. And so if you don't understand what chakra means, I didn't. When it first, I was like, that sounds very Eastern. I don't think that is like, maybe I'll evolve into that or something knowing that, but I don't think it's for my process right now. That's like yogis and like certain things like that. Like they know it on a way different level than I need to understand it. And I'm not saying you need to completely understand the full theology of it, because it is. It's intense, it's a lot, and I don't fully completely understand it. But what I do understand is these energy spots in your body are also the culminating highways of all your energy centers, your nerve endings, your vessels, everything. So call it like the energy highways where everything's intersecting and meeting. So naturally, that's where energy can build and it can collect. But it's the harvesting areas where everything is culminating to. So by focusing on those different areas, they attach to different parts of our experience. And so going through, and you can see everything is red. We're in the red, and we're in the very in building in that security, that survival, that safety. You know, we're moving in from being in the survival era of our times to moving into the thriving and knowing that everything's okay. You know, ask yourself this question, you know, what everything has worked out perfectly up until this point. Tell me something that doesn't align with that right now. And if you feel like something doesn't align with it right now, wait a couple months or wait a year and then tell me it and tell me that it wasn't perfect, right? And then you can start to be like, oh shit, it has been perfect. You know, it maybe isn't moving as fast as you want it or whatever, but look at everything that you have. Is it safe? Is it okay? Up until this point, has everything worked out the way you intended? Yes. Yes, it has. The way that you internally intended, and so you start to be like, everything is okay. Everything is safe. There isn't anything, I don't have to live in that anxiety. I don't have to, and that's what by spending time on this chakra point and by investing energy into it and by letting energy flow into it, you're bringing all of those vibes. You're bringing all of that security, that safety.
World of Chell.
Yeah, Dom. I'm gonna try and mute Dom here. There we go.
Yeah, so there's some public relief for us. We're getting hot and heavy, weren't we, Brody?
Yeah, no, it's all good. He just opened up another device there, so it's good. But yeah, and then and as you can start to see is this is not a race, everyone. Everyone is going to get to the 7th chakra. We give you that now. You can write it down. That's the guarantee. If you consistently work through these, follow our instructions. And then if you still fall down, but at least if you ask questions and say, hey, what's going on, then you'll get it, right? Because it's a very learning, asking process with us for sure. But know that each month you're going to move and you're going to start harvesting more energy for this spot, and not just spending 1 minute during meditation on this spot and then going 1 minute on the next spot. We're spending an entire month. And what my personal belief and my truth is, by spending an entire month on each individual's points of our chakra points, we're going to be not this as a race or competition, but as a person that wants to really be able to integrate this into the entire world, I know that this will prime and get me ready for that, because I know no one else or majority of the people haven't spent this amount of time doing that, you know? So that in that form, it gives you and makes you an influencer or a more guided figure to help others, to help them move along the process, because you've been through it, you've discovered it, and you've experienced it. So we want everyone to experience that for themselves so that they can be this very, very high vibrating. And I didn't actually include a graphic. I think we'll go into it on next month. But I want to share with you how this energy on the lower root energy is not as powerful as it is, not as wide and as far outreaching as the higher up crown chakra. And so that's what we mean by this energy builds. And it becomes brighter and brighter, and it expands out larger and larger. And as you start connecting and you start doing these spiritual push-ups, like Jeremy says, you'll start to be able to expand this light. You'll be able to make a larger impact in your business. You'll be able to experience more love in your relationships. That's what this will bring for you. Absolutely. So is there something you wanted to add with the root chakra?
One thing I kind of wanted to add in general is, like you said when you were saying about taking notes and stuff, also let that be your journal. I know that people are like, oh, I'm not going to have a diary. It's corny, it's girly, it's whatever. But that's your notebook. That's your journal. That's your notes. You know, write down what you're experiencing. Yeah. Like if your daily reflection when you're meditating and stuff, and after you've meditated, write it down. Write down how you felt that day. That way, you know, you can have visual progress. Like you can actually see it.
Nice.
Because sometimes we become blind to the progress we're making.
Ooh.
And we can't tell that we're actually going forward. You know, it's all kind of in our subconscious. Our subconscious knows that we're going forward, but we're not physically seeing it go forward. You know,
kill it, baby.
Write that shit down.
Yeah,
I think that was almost really necessary, because what's going to happen with a lot of these teachings, they're going to come in, and if you don't take the conscious time to integrate them on other times throughout the day, they'll have a chance of flowing back out. You know, so you do need to, and that's like an amazing gift that everyone gets to have now. I just started, and you know what? It just as an example, I had a lot of resistance against that, like people do. I don't need it. I have these notebooks. I have certain things. But until I started the journal, I actually started one when I started the 31 Days to Self-Love. and I've been continuing it now, and I've just been having a great time doing it.
That was fun.
It was,
It's not a step. It's fun.
It's fun, and now I enjoy sitting down and kind of just relaying everything down. And so it was the resistance trying to show me to do that, so that once I did it, it could show me that it was like, you actually really enjoy this, my friend.
Yeah.
So if you don't, like, you don't have to start off with just a journal. Like, I started off with my bathroom mirror. I would write good notes to myself, before I went to bed or whatever, on my bathroom mirror. Or my girls would write something on my bathroom mirror and stuff, and I'd see it in the morning. I'd be like, this is going to be a good day.
See? That is beautiful. So, you got anything else on that? Brody, I do have a few things. You got anything?
Move it over to this one here, and then it's the same graphic, just a little bit more definition on it and stuff.
Perfect.
All these graphics can be, I'll upload these graphics for everyone, so you can post them up in your room and do certain things with them, whatever you want.
Yeah. So a few of my notes that I was given, just like Amber had said, what really got me propelled is writing it down. When I went through these steps and these moments, God said, everybody goes through these. Write this down. And so I did. And that's why we're here, is because I wrote it. And so here's some of the things. So let's see, suffering, what it actually means. Here's an actual Lama term, per definition, is to feel or endure pain, to experience or be subjected to something bad or unpleasant, to tolerate, to put up with, to endure, to trust, fear, or to bear. And so what this energy system does is it regulates the energies of survival, of instinct, of safety, and lack. It's the survival mode. It's our caveman mode. It's the old tendencies. It's the old energy. It's the old nature. It's the old habits, the old seed. Okay? See, that's pretty much every words in the same subject. Okay? We're going to bring everything together for you easily. Okay? The root is the earth element. It is foundation. It is strength. It is leadership. It is support and base. The sound that it makes, that you produce, is lam. Lam, 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 lam. And so that is a way that we can practice just a quick meditation, just lam. And those vibrations, and then you can go higher and lower and really find that energy. I'm good at singing with music, horrible without music. So anyways, just really finding that
Lum, lum,
lum,
lum.
And then you can kind of hit those and open up those energies. That's what it's like. They're pools of energies of water, and if you have a bunch of leaves clogging it up, it's stagnant. And so you got to release that blockage by these vibrations, by being happy anyways, by being in joy, by understanding and recognizing and being aware of this consciousness. See, Brody may not be very familiar with the Eastern side, but I am. This is where he grounds me, and I keep him in the clouds. I'm the kite, and he's the guy just holding it, enjoying. But if he didn't hold me down and bring me here, I'd be gone. But I didn't come to leave, I came to serve. So let's see. So on the other side is the fear, the lack, our ancestry, the wars, the genetics, the sickness, the disease. Your right to be here. Were you even wanted as a child? These are this core traumas that we don't even know are happening and why we're hurting. This is why. Past life hurts, even if it was just experiences that you don't remember, or it could just be just constant drama and bullshit all the time. This is related to the root. This is why we're starting here. This is why it's suffering. This is why it's reality. This is where most people are and have been. And sometimes they can go up the ladder here and there, but they just stay in fear. They're afraid of being afraid, and they're afraid of change, and they're afraid to get up. They're afraid to go to bed. They're afraid to go to work. They're sick of it all. So this is where, here's how we change. This is the deal, is the paradigm shift. So we're going to start giving you the ways and the reasons and the hows. I think this would probably be a good time to where we can just get up and start getting into some of the quick meditations so that they can have to practice, and the quick techniques so that they can have to practice. And so we're not just lecturing them and tell them all what they already know. They know about suffering.
Yeah, and this feels unsettling. That this first portion of that was supposed to feel very unsettling.
Yes.
We gave you warnings.
This
We
is
told
the
you we're going
solution
upstream.
oriented.
But now
Yes.
we're going upstream, but solution oriented.
Yes.
And that's the difference, where we go
And
upstream
we have arrived.
with pride, with knowing that we're supposed to be here, and that we're on divine. We're in a divine alignment for this, and that we're meant for it. That's the difference, right?
So what we're going to do now is everybody have their stick. Okay, let's just take like just a second. How are we doing on time? Where are we at?
We're good. If you guys can consciously set away another about half an hour is what I'm thinking.
Okay, cool.
It'll probably take us to do the rest of this right now. There is a recording available. If you do have something immediate, make sure you set a time to come back and finish the program on the recording. But
yeah,
I do. That is okay, because we didn't express that it would be this long. But in the future, they'll probably run about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, we've got to get it all in and let it build and plant those seeds, and your life will transform on the daily. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're not just gonna keep telling you stuff that you already know. We're gonna give you the key. Okay, and so what is it that's holding you back? Is it the physical? Is it mental hurts? Is it past life traumas? Is it attachments? What, do you have something dark on you, or a dis-ease, or a dark energy, or a demon? See, we'll say it all. We're going everywhere. Bring it all. We're going to deal with it all, and we are going to do a cleansing and a curse removing, a attachment removing ceremony. Just a quick, this is why you have your stick, so get your stick. And then we're also going to do a small 4-piece part to where you can have a way of grounding and clearing forever, so that you can have a strong base with application. So if you're oh shit, I don't know what to do, I'm losing it, the momentum's gaining, here's how. Okay, so everybody take just a big breather. Thank you all for being here. This has been awesome. We're going to get this knocked out. We're going to give you the tools, promise. And they're going to work, and you're going to love again, and you're going to live again, maybe for the first time. Okay, so we're going to scooch over to where we have some room, and so bear with us just for a moment, and we will get started.
So everyone make some room for yourself.
All right, baby, and then maybe get us some good, nice, chill music. Love you guys. Namaste. So good to have you. Thank you for being with us. I'm telling you, this is gonna this is revolutionary in the light and love, but without the violence. And yes, I know I'm working on the space and everything. So Brody is gonna mirror what I'm going to do so that you can really get this full effect, okay? Because I know you're going to.
I'm just realizing I'll have to talk for it to actually come over and spotlight on me. But yeah, once I'm talking, sometimes should come back.
No problem. They'll get the full gamut. They can see me because I'll have the information, and then you can help show it for them. So
Right on. Awesome.
yeah,
Okay.
it'll work out perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, so to start off, let's just get everything off of us. Let's just fully clear. Okay, so everybody, you got your stick? Boom. Go big or go home, baby. So, and what we're going to do is all this darkness and all this old shit and all this old energy, old seed, we're going to be like Gandalf and be like, you shall not pass ever again. Okay? I know it's silly, but it has saved lives and countless generations and timelines and the whole 9 yards. So, everybody, just, this is your paradigm shift. This is your stand as a human being, as a divine entity. This is your stand. So, place it down with love. And what we're doing is, by the Christ consciousness, we're going to open up a gigantic circle of light, and we got to have like a drain for all this to go to properly, because even the darkness can, if it's done properly, can go back to source and be re-downloaded, reintegrated, and brought back in. That's true and epic and forever salvation. Okay, so we're going to take all of your negative polarity, everything that you've ever encountered, experienced, all the attachments, the demons, the demonic, the darkness, all of that, sickness, poverty, everything, generational curses, our ancestry, the curses and our punishments that we've had from the Old Testament, every single thing that you can ever imagine and believe in and think of and fear, take that and take it off and set that over. And then it's going to get sucked up into the light, into the Christ consciousness. Okay? So it's dealt with. And so how do we make our stand? Is we're going to take this line in the sand that we've made, and we're going to jump that timeline. We're going to skip over these curses. We're not going to receive this anymore. We're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take this anymore. Boom, this is our stand once and for all, maybe even for the first time. So everybody, let it all out. Stick it up there into the Christ consciousness. Get it out. You must go. You can't stay. You must go. And you won't want to stay because I'm going to be shining so much that you couldn't stay even if you wanted to. Lights on. Turn on your buttons. Turn on your switches. All the lights on. And then 1, 2, 3. Jump across this thing and don't ever look back. Go. Boom. Now, feel the new energy, the new seed, the new life, the new perspective, the new leading edge, the new co-creation, the new expansion of source. This is prophecy. This is what we have always been meaning and meant to do. We have now learned both the good and the evil, and now we can go in peace and abundance and love. So what are we going to do now that we're all clean, all healed, all the attachments are gone? Okay, let's have a nice way of rooting and grounding and cleansing and building that core. So what we're going to do real quick is just, and you can do this anytime. This is what you've invested in. This is what will be the difference makers. Okay? So the first step you're going to do is you're going to stand feet together. Okay, just like Brody. Yep, feet together. And then kind of like lift all up a little bit and then down. Yeah, okay. And now just have like a slight, like, scoot down just a hair. Like this. Watch this. Just a hair. Only with your legs. Keep your back straight. And so you're okay. So you're straight, and so you've kind of like seated in your core. Okay? And now put your hands out just a little bit like this. Yep. And then put your knees in a little bit. Just straight as you can. Yeah. But relax and kind of just, your knees aren't locked, but they're unlocked just a hair. And then everything else is just perfectly straight and everything. Okay? And so what you're going to do is eyes open, you're going to imagine roots going down all around everywhere, spreading throughout the earth and the universe. And this is strengthening your core. And so when you have strong roots, that means you can actually grow to the stars. We're going to grow to heaven. We're not going to go to heaven. We're going to grow there. Okay? And so now, that's one. Now the second one is still straight, and you have your arms just exactly like you are, but close your eyes. Now, you may feel a little wobbly and a little weird. That's because your core is weak. I'll just say it. And so this is what will build that up. So you stand there with your eyes closed and you just feel it. And it's like, oh gosh, I can't do this. And all you're doing is standing there with your eyes closed. And so you're just wigging out, and that's the practice. Practice the not wigging out. Practice the breathing. Breathe all the way in. Let it all the way out. Breathe all the way in hard. Hold it. Let out a little bit. Breathe in all the way real hard that you have left. Breathe out just a little bit. Breathe in hard. Breathe out a little bit. Breathe in hard. Breathe out a little bit. Breathe in hard. Let it all out. How's that feel, Brody?
Bliss.
Yeah. Okay. Now, step 2. Now, look at me here, Brody. We're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to sway to the left just a little bit. So, and then we're going to go over and then have our legs and feet shoulder width apart. There you go. Yeah. So shoulder width apart. Yep. And then get that like that core just scoot. Yeah. Perfect. There you go. Yeah. There you go. And then so get parallel here, feet shoulder width apart, and then you have your hands here again. Okay. Now do the same exercise that we just did, rooting and planting out your roots all over the universe. But this will show you and keep you there longer and stronger. Like this is your root. This is your tribal. Your power. This is how you get your power back. Okay? And so you're rooting, you're growing. Now, for the fourth part in this section is do it with your eyes closed. Okay? And so you're like, oh, but this one you're a little bit more powerful. Here, you can stay here and just meditate and do everything you've always done. Do all the techniques. But this one is specifically so that you can root and ground and cleanse and grow. Okay? And now, one little special thing that I'm going to give you. That's your 4. So you have your feet together, eyes open and eyes closed. Then you have your feet shoulder width apart, eyes open and eyes closed for a total of 4. So practice these. Practice, practice, practice. Okay? Now, in yoga and all these different poses, I was doing them, all the martial arts, and when I was doing them, I was, just everything, and just, the parting of the horse's bane, the repulse monkey, just everything. But I was like, why? And what is the point? And I saw how it was used for war and everything like that. And I was like, Lord, what is this for? And what is, like, how can I use this to be as close to you as possible? And so all of a sudden when I was doing those, I just was like this. I was just like taking over almost. And it was like very robotic. So I was like, and I just stood there, and then I put down my center a little bit, and I call this my Iron Man pose. And this is me just blasting off to the moon. So put your legs shoulders apart, and have your hands out like this, like yeah, but not like this. Here, let me see if I can show me down a little bit more. Okay, so it's like this. And so I'm just like blasting like, and what that does is that builds that divine energy and that kundalini rising. And this is how we link everything together. This is the connection. And so we're just blasting, high. And this is that power pose. This is that special gift. This is something that I was specially given from the divine. So I hope you love it. And so then when you're done, you can actually see like red blotches and a yellow circle. And that's your meridians, your energy pouring through your meridians on your hands, your feet, in your armpit area, and coming off the top of your head. And so this is how you can heal. This is how you build your energy. This is how you do all that you're wanting to do. This is that power. Okay? So one last little quick thing. Once you're through these little things, this is something, say, an emergency, I'm just losing it. Anxiety, depression, I don't know what to do. You know, I've been so sad before that I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning, just got clothes on and ran down the damn road like a freaking crazy person because I couldn't hold it. I was flipping my SpaghettiOs. Okay, so here's something that really, really helped me. So this is called Hands in the Clouds. Okay, and so you can't get here until you do these rooting and cleansing, these core changing exercises. That's why I gave them to you first. There is a method to all this madness, to all this divine madness. So again, so you're starting in your normal pose with your feet together, and then breath in over to the little bit, then breath out, and then you have your shoulder width apart legs. Okay, so now you have your general core pose. Okay, this is what builds your core. And so then what you do is you begin to have this hands in the clouds, and you just go across, and it's just like this. And then you switch them, and then just like this, and then you switch them, and then go like this. Okay, and so what it will look like, and you use your breath, and it's just, and you can get big and extravagant. Let me see if I can just give this to you a little bit. And just, okay, that's okay. So here, and there is no right, there is no wrong. It's about what feels good. It's what connects you and what moves you and what brings the presence. Oh, it feels so good. I'm just in the universe, just dancing with my maker. Everything is so perfect. Can't you feel it? Can't you see it? And this is how. This is the expression of the incarnated human in love, here and now, balanced and blessed. So that's just a couple things. So let's just take a deep breath and there's some real tangible methods that will transform your life. It did me. I went from a rageaholic to the unincredible Hulk to wanting to see this world burn. Given, what happened? You've changed. What are you, the Jeremy Lama? After 5 people told me that, it was given to me. I didn't give this title or this silly name to me. The people did. Okay? And then as I went through these things, it helped me change, and I began to teach them, and it changed their lives. And these are the things that I've given to the world because it was what was given to me. So that's where all this comes from. This is a mighty movement of the Almighty, that we were not left behind and forsaken or forgotten. We just needed a little bit of time to grow. Anything other than that is a lie. Religion, religiosity, churchianity, we don't serve that. It no longer serves us. We don't stand for it. We learned from it. It was training wheels. We needed it at a time, but we don't anymore. We are grown. We are walking hand in hand with the Creator, and life is good. So, whew, how's everybody feeling? Is it just me, or is this just like the best day ever, period ever? I mean, like, is it just me?
I think we can open up some people here.
Yeah, I think we've. You want to do that little Q&A
If you guys
sesh?
want to unmute yourself and join in and chat,
Yeah.
by all means, join in and share your experience.
Turn them on. Let's see your pretty faces.
Me myself, bro. That felt like the first time. I felt like the same feeling from the first time I did Falun Gong or Falun Dafa, they call it, and it was like I went into it very, very fresh into my personal journey, and I was just like diving into everything. I was just like, I want everything. I want every different like type of thing, every t-shirt, blah, blah, blah. Then I came across this and I was like, what is this? It looks like martial arts. I started looking into it more. And then essentially it's a form of Tai Chi, but like a very, very ancient form, Falun Gong or Falun Dafa, they call it. And it was actually just some history on it. It's outlawed in China. You're not allowed to actually do it in public. And so I was like, huh, that's interesting. It must be something to it. It must be powerful. And then I sat down with it. I found this like basically like a freaking 10-step module on how to do this, like a full training for free. And then I did the first one, and I just like, I remember just sitting with my hands in my face, just like, oh my God.
Me too, brother. Me too.
I was like, it's possible. That's so possible. And that's just like, what else? I was like, what more? What more now? And that was like really the beginning of me knowing that I could feel that vibration. And if there's anyone at this point that feels like that was absolute garbage or is not feeling that, you have to be patient and you have to give yourself time to grow.
That's why we're only giving you so much. There is a lot more after. You know, I have been put in the level of Tai Chi. I hate labels. Tai Chi master, Qigong, and Qigong, I've done those since I was a child. Kung Fu. You know, I've invented a thing called Kung Jitsu. It's Kung Fu and Jiu Jitsu. It's like Ong Bak, Muay Thai, but like I am not a fighter anymore. I'm a defender. I am a protector. That's all. If something's going down, I'm not gonna let it. But I can't just go over there like a moron and then get in the way and cause more casualties. I have to be, you know, you can't be sick enough to heal the sick. You have to be well. You can't be broke enough to heal the broke. You have to be wealthy. This is the lighthouse. This is the trailblazing. This is the difference. Okay?
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
What's up, my man?
It's for some reason my camera's not working. It says I have to pick another one in settings, but I went to settings. It's the only, But I just had a really quick question. Those 5 steps you guys had at the beginning, I was writing them down and writing them in detail, and I missed what the 5 step was. The 5th step going back to contrast.
Yeah. It's almost a not step.
Okay, awesome. And secondly, those stances and everything, and those like forms of standing meditation, like I just feel really happy doing them. It's an amazing rush. So thank you for that.
That just makes, you have taken my tests and turned it into a testimony. You have made me and my life worthy and valuable because of what I've went through, and you enjoying it. That makes my life a living legacy, and that means the world to me. So thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Top and around and side, in and out of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
So let's just open this up to the question and answer session. Just anything. Let her rip.
And if you're watching the recording, reach out to either Jeremy or I.
Yeah, we'll answer forever.
That's forever. That's all good.
Yeah.
You might not be able to comment on the specific viewing platform you're on at the moment. It'd be best to actually private message us on Facebook, and then we can deliver the information that's apparent for you that you need.
But if you're this far along, you're going to be in our circle anyways, so we're going to be right there. Exactly. So,
how often are these meetings going to be? Because I'm excited for the next one. So
you're in this mode for a month, brother. So
Awesome.
I know it's exciting, and I know
I do want to delve more into the root chakra. This is amazing.
So we wanted to give people time to
artery
really
on a
process this information, because a similar thing that I find, and that's why we didn't want to really, we went through quite a bit, but there was stuff that we even left out, and and that's stuff that we're going to start diving into next week throughout the different weeks, so that it's a more integrating process where it's not like blah, and then you catch like one morsel of it, and then you kind of get, so this way it's a very, very intuitive and very deliberative.
Gotcha. So is it once a week, twice a week?
So these divine appointments are going to happen every month, and they're going to happen on the last Saturday of every month is how it works.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you.
So it's almost like a preparation to get yourself ready for that next newness. If we're going to go on the, calendar scale for that next month to kick off and really hit it with the next one. And then that whole month again, we dive into the next chakra and the next step and all of the mementos, the stories that built around. And then so by the end of the 7 steps, we're not only going to have full alignment, we're going to have a story, we're going to have an experience, we're going to have something tied to that to really create this like knowing foundation of where you're at, and your ability to share that with people as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing. Okay, thank you guys.
Boom.
Yeah.
I love this, brother. And I think there's really nothing else left for you to do but just to practice, experience, and have fun with this.
Yeah.
And if at any moment you're not having fun, that's not what you're supposed to be doing at the time.
Yeah. There's something else.
There might be something else you're supposed to do, and it maybe isn't our practice. It's maybe going out enjoying with your family, or having a nap, or playing video games, or eating ice cream. Whatever it is. Like, we're not trying to force you into this. We just know how powerful it is when you're ready and when you are really inspired.
No, definitely.
It's really powerful. Okay. And so the other thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Cody. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. So I was going through your packages, Brody, that I got when I first got in. And one of them mentions not watching TV so much. And I've heard that from several other mentors too. They say it takes away from your aura or something. Is that true? And should I actively try not to be so involved?
You know what?
Better stuff.
Yeah.
That's all. Let's just do better stuff.
Yeah. TV shows. Don't watch the news. That's always negative. Try and stay away from stuff that is negative.
Yeah. Are you creating
TV
reality?
in and of itself is not negative.
Yeah.
But what you watch or what you're getting persuaded to watch sometimes can be.
Yeah.
So
excellent. Okay. Thank you guys.
And just filter on that one.
If you have a show that you're addicted to that that is like, I don't know if this is the best thing for me, it's bad, whatever. First, release all those emotions and those feelings of it. Enjoy it for what it is at the time. Because there's nothing worse than now being like, I think this show's programming me wrong, but I do enjoy it. You can see the indifference with that, right? But what I started doing is, because those are just habits. It's not really that of an addiction. They're not really that good of actors. It's all it's just a habitual thing that now your body's used to doing. I sit down and I watch this show. What I did is, first, I canceled my Netflix, and then I went out and got Gaia. It was just like Gaia is Gaia, and it's the mother Gaia is how they're branding it on. But it's basically the spiritual Netflix. And it's some of the stuff I don't really enjoy. It's really old content, but I'll send you some shows that I really enjoy on there. Actually, you can send some people some free episodes to test it out. So it's just switching it to something more positive or something that's more beneficial for this. And what I did is that every time I removed a show that I didn't like, I always or a show that I knew maybe I didn't want to keep watching, or a certain type of music I just wanted to stop listening to. Those are different things that are old programs where you're used to doing them, so you do them. And I substituted it for something new.
It's a replacement.
To replace that with. Because if I just told my body that, no, you don't get that, or told my mind or my spirit, no, you don't get that, then it's kind of like, what do you mean I don't get that? And then it would just go on a freaking tyrant, and it would just destroy that process, because it wasn't a loving process. Whereas that, and so dude, it's
amazing. Thank you. That's well said.
Perfect, bro. Perfect. Yeah, and then so it's don't build Rome all in one day type of thing. If there's I really enjoy watching comedy in the evenings. And as we all know, comedy is self-deprecating. Sometimes it's negative and stuff like that. But you know what I found out recently is it helps me share my story. It helps my ability to present. It helps my ability to make a joke and call back to it. And like, you know, certain things like that. So I'm like, oh, that's a beneficial property. So you have to maybe sometimes install a belief why it's beneficial for you too, is I guess the other thing. Because then if you feel that it's a good process for you, then the process is done. Then it's great.
Yeah.
But if you feel like it's having a bad thing or if it's causing bad things with you, then maybe there's something you need to adjust within it to make it feel good or make it feel more proper for you.
That's it, yeah. Because, I mean, laughter is good medicine, and the lack of joy dries up the bones. You know, this is what causes disease. It is dis-ease. So whatever is holding your cork under, whatever is causing you negative emotions, which your emotions, like Brody said, was your compass, which is your energy in motion. They are the ones telling you that you're out of alignment, and that's how you get back into alignment. You just stop what you're doing. You're stopping that which no longer serves you. So if you're like, dude, this blows, don't ever do it ever again. And then if you do, then who cares? Then don't do it ever again. You're always, like say, you're always in alignment unless you're not. So that is this gigantic paradigm shift. So you see something, can you do something about it? Then go do that. You're still in peace. And then you see something, can you do something about it? No. Well, then still stay in peace. So then you're always in peace, and you are now the solution to every single problem. This is the unification of people, purposes, and passions, and why we're here.
Yeah, and it's being like that divine selector where like experiences are going to happen, and like, you know, it's and you're going to get tendencies to want to do stuff that maybe doesn't feel completely in your alignment still and stuff like that. The goal when you get pulled back into those experiences, when you get pulled back into there, the goal is to maintain the presence. But even if you don't maintain the presence, the goal is to not beat yourself up about it after. Because that's, I think, a losing battle when people go into a spiritual journey. Oh, I did miss my meditation. Gosh, that's why I'm in a lot. Oh, man. And then so it's like this judging your loving process where like, no, you should do the process. And even if it doesn't come out exactly the way you still love, you still are in peace. It's still okay. It's still perfect.
It still was a lesson. It still was an experience. You still practice. You don't have to, you know, failure is not a bad thing. No. Failure is just your first attempt in learning. And without failure, you would be a failure, really, you know, because the difference between a student and a master is a master failed more times than the student ever even tried. That's the only reason and the only difference between students and teachers. I messed up everything. So now I know how to do it. And those who are still messing up in those areas, I can help them if they want. If not, I'm going to love them anyways. And then I'm going to let them have their time and grow. And then in the future, we'll come back and play together. That's how everything goes, period.
And there's so much more that we'd love to share with everyone.
And we're going to.
We're going to. And
but that's all for today.
More appropriate to be sharing it consistently throughout the month, throughout the Llama Space, which is probably where you'll see some of these bonus added features to the first step. We're going to start releasing them throughout the week. So keep an eye on the Llama Space weekly. If you want to put in that in your mind, weekly, there'll be videos coming out to help this process, the first step along, and really get a defined foundation for it. And another thing that we're going to share as this is recommendations now. We're not telling you, but we know that by doing these things, they'll increase your vibration. They'll remove old energy. They'll cleanse you. They'll make you a strong foundation. And that's,
well, we already have. Now it's keeping it away.
Exactly. Sorry. Yes. We have the strong foundation. Now it's maintaining it, keeping everything away, being clear, being pure. And so the best way we know how to do that, and for someone at this level, is meditations, is guided meditations. You don't have to really do nothing. You just sit there and try. And that's actually the goal is do nothing, do no thing, no thought. Every time that you do have a thought, try and come back to an affirmation like love, 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 love. Or add something in love, abundance, authenticity, love, abundance, authenticity, just to try and like program yourself. If it's going to try and out-program you, try and program yourself. Or through the guided meditation, it's already helping you each time because you're tuning back into that. And so that keeps you on track. That's why it's guided, right? And so there's a few in the Enlightenment Hacks package. If you guys haven't accessed that package, it's in your email, so check back. It's there. It's in the welcome aboard email. Also, Jeremy has prepared one specially for this specific step that you guys will all be receiving after this in good time as well. And then that one you can almost hold fast on as being like, for this month, that's the meditation I'm focusing on. There's lots of other meditations out there, you guys.
Yeah,
and it's not a race. You'll get to them and you'll have them and it'll be perfect. But I know that by focusing, and I'm going to do it probably more than any other type of meditations that I'm listening to, focusing on this specific one, because I want to build a specific story. I want to know what that feels like exclusively, so that if it ever comes back around again, I know immediately what's happening. That's essentially what I'm moving forward with it. And that's why I'm going to spend, even if other stuff, newer teachers, newer things comes along, that's great. Probably going to put in the to-do list, because this is what I'm spending my time on for the next 7 months, going through these. So yeah.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's only going to help you shine brighter and impact more. These are those methods to sharpen your axe, so you're not just sitting there hitting that tree with a baseball bat. This is the clarity. And just also for those heavy hitters and those freaking go-getters, then use that investment that you put in with those one-on-ones with us. And if you've already at this step and beyond, then we'll get into the deeper stuff. We will spend the time with you. So don't be like, oh, crap, I got to wait a whole month until the end of February just to know surrender and I'm already past there.
Yeah.
We are building this, but then we are here with all your packages at the different levels, however you want. We'll put you through to step 7 tomorrow if that's so be it. If that's what you want and that's your package and that's how you roll, let's do it. But and again, this is a customizable, universal, divine gift for everybody. It will look different for everybody. These are just the frameworks, so that I'm in this framework and here's all the stuff that I can play around and see. Here's the framework for this one. And then so like you said, you can have a big overall picture of everything. Where am I at? What am I doing? What can I do? Boom, 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 boom. No more suffering because I got clarity. Now I'm grown. Now I have fulfilled everything and I can go in peace and spread it and love unconditionally. All is perfect, and I'll show you why. Woo! This has been awesome. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for the healing. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for the peace. Thank you for the strength, the clarity, the love, the people, the new vibrations, the new energy, the new seed, the new timelines, the new possibilities, the new opportunities, the new connections, the new love. Thank you for all the things that we've been through. Thank you for bringing it to a head and helping us get through it and overcome, and to know that you were with us and that all things are working out for good. And we release it all. We give it all. We thank you for it all. You know what's best, and that's what we've asked for. That's what we will continue to ask for. Please and thank you by the Christ consciousness and the authority given to us and in me. And so it is. Amen. So,
Namaste.
Namaste. I think Brody, you got anything left?
That's I don't have anywhere. You just absolutely mic drop for sure.
Lady Mama, you got anything left?
Good.
Love you guys. Thank you for your commitment. You will never regret it. You will be connected. You will be in bliss, and we already are now. So we've already fulfilled it, and we're just going to keep on milking it and milking it and milking it, because life is perfect, and we're going to get you up to speed. You're already up to speed, so now let's go enjoy it. Let's go play. Let's go be a blessing. Put a smile not only on your face, but also on your heart. So we will be with you always. Let us know if you need anything. Let's create together. If you see anything you want to add, anything, this is yours. This is organic for everybody. So let's go unify people, purposes, and passions and shine the love of the Creator for all those to see. And then we will take each other hand in hand to the promised land.
And just everyone remember, we went over the 5 steps. So knowing that, Jeremy and I are also going to do a video in a bit. It'll be between the end of the month where you'll share that. You have your poses. You know you've released all those old blockages now. You don't have to accept them back in ever again. We'll see everyone next in the Llama space. That's probably where you'll see us next, posting in there. And then the next Divine Appointment, last Saturday of next month, we'll meet up again. You'll be getting notifications for that when the day comes.
Cannot wait. We love you. Thank you so much. And Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.